Glad you're here. Okay, we are live. I'm Rabbi Brian. It says so right there. This is the Saturday service. It says so right there. This is Saturday service number 292. And that is on today, which is October the 18th, 2025. I am joined by friends. Let me zoom out so we can see. There are the friends. Hello, friends. And people are still joining in. Glad you guys are all here. A quick announcement before much else happens. We will be ending in 45 minutes. I have a bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah to get to, and it was too complicated to try to make substitute plans, so we'll start the second hour a little bit early. And what this means is if we only have 45 minutes instead of our usual hour, is we're going to have to be concentrated and do better work over a shorter amount of time, or layoffs are going to have to happen.
Bullshit.
Thank you, Meg. Meg is speaking truth, which is it's not about shoving more things in. The idea of a Sabbath, which today in some sense is to have an idea of unurgency, of non-urgency, of taking a break from the rat race. Here's a quote that I'm fond of from Brene Brown. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. What if play was seen as a status symbol? Ooh, how much fun that would be. I have some follow-ups from last week, and I'd love to hear. Hi, Rita. Hi, Diana. Hi, James. Hi, Ruth. Glad to see you guys all joined in. James, we're going to mute you. You have some extra sound on your line. I have some announcements to make about the structure of services, and I thought, well, we didn't always go over some ground rules, so I have a few here. One is do this service to your comfort level. If I ask a question if I ask you directly a question and you don't want, you have the power to pass. Please feel empowered to not participate as well as to participate. Second, please do your best to keep confidentiality. Of course, this is the internet. This is live. And I thought about, I'm going to take a little tangent, which is for the people who share, thank you for sharing. It's a really brave thing to do, is to open your heart, even just open your mouth to say something. Somebody can jump in and say, no, you're wrong, which we discourage, by the way. But it's a brave thing to take a chance to be vulnerable. It's how, and it's a double-edged sword, is the way that we can be seen is by putting ourselves out, but it's also a way we can get picked on by putting ourselves out. So please do the best to do confidentiality. If somebody says something here and you want to talk about it later, please change some of the facts around so that it is not instantly identifiable who said whatever it was. I might interrupt you while you're sharing. I was in a seminar recently, and the host said that that's one of the rules that they put out, is they say, I might interrupt you, and I might interrupt you so that we can move on to something else. Please don't take it personally. I have a whole group to mind and take care of, so I like to announce that ahead of time. Third, please be conscious of unsolicited advice. People aren't necessarily, when they ask a question, asking you to solve their problem. And footnote on that, unsolicited advice is still unsolicited even if it's really good advice. Even if you think it's the perfect response, it does not mean the person has authorized you to give it. Now, in the relationship I have with my sister, she doesn't have to ask me all the time, do you want my opinion? Do you want my opinion? Do you want my opinion? It's my sister. We've negotiated out after half a century of having life together that we can give each other it's unsolicited advice, but it's okay. Like there's an authorization. Steve, go ahead. You have your hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to your earlier quote. Once upon a time, I had a message on my answering machine that my wife made me take down, but I thought it was wonderful.
Wait,
It
you're
said,
talking about the courage to rest and play in this quote.
right, right.
Okay, tell us what
It
did
said,
you...
I'm sorry I can't come to the phone right now. I'm busy doing nothing. But when I'm doing something and can be interrupted, I will call you back.
I love it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Is my mom watching? As long as my mom's not watching, I'll share with you a cartoon I once saw where it's a picture of a guy walking on the street and he had a phone and the caption underneath said, "I can't talk right now, Mom. I'm having a good day."
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning. Good morning to everyone who's still joining in. Okay, that was announcements on how this is going. If you're just joining, we are going to be breaking at 45 after the hour due to a bat mitzvah that I have to get to on this trafficked day. Follow-ups. What follow-ups do you have from things we talked about last week? Is there something that we talked about as a group that you had an aha insight about that you would wish to share? Go ahead, Ruth.
Ruth, you're muted.
I don't know if Ruth is raising her hand or just having slight tremors. Hi, Ruth. We see you. I don't think that was a wanting to share. And I have a dog who's to come in. Go to your bed. Thank you, doggy. I have a follow-up from last week. Last week we talked about drive-by momming. We talked about unsolicited advice. I had a thought about something that happened last week before we broke into breakout groups, and I had asked people, what do you do to calm yourselves down? And the answers that came back were kind of generic. I go for a walk in nature. I take a deep breath. And what I realized was those were not the answers I was looking for. And the problem in that was that it wasn't that you guys answered wrong. It was that I didn't set up the question to ask what it was that I was really trying to get at. What I was trying to get at was, would you please share with your small groups, and we're not breaking into small groups today, but my request should have been, when you break into small groups, would you share with others a time where you got really, really frustrated? And how did you calm yourself down from that moment? And I left that first part out, which reminds me of a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. And when I taught high school, if the average grade on the test was a 70, I threw the test away because it meant I hadn't taught it right, or I was testing them on knowledge that they didn't have. So it's this beautiful quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. It says, "When you plant lettuce, if it does not grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not doing well. It may need fertilizer or more water or less sun. You never blame the lettuce. Yet if we have a problem with our friends or family, we blame the other person. But if we know how to take care of them, they will grow well like the lettuce. Blaming has no positive effect at all, nor does trying to persuade using reason and argument. That is my experience. No blame, no reason, no argument, just understanding. If you understand, you can show that you understand. You can love, and the situation will change." That's a heavy ask that Thich Nhat Hanh's making of us. Let's take it one part of it at a time. Let's take it one part at a time. When you plant lettuce, if it doesn't grow well, you don't blame the lettuce. You look for reasons it is not doing well. It may need fertilizer or more water or less sun. We all are right with the base level analogy, how to grow lettuce. You don't blame lettuce if it's not growing well. Quick little show of hands. How many of you suspect that you might be guilty of blaming lettuce? We're not talking about lettuce, but blaming other people.
Well,
sometimes. Good morning. Good morning.
I prefer to blame other people, but it doesn't work.
Are other people really like lettuce?
Do other people say that again, Carol? I didn't hear your words.
Are other people really like lettuce?
So Thich Nhat Hanh is saying other people are like lettuce, and your question makes me suspect that you believe otherwise.
I think other people, yes. I do not think other people are lettuce. I think they can be talked to. I think you can communicate in a way that you can't with lettuce.
Correct. Correct. Hold on. Let me get back to the quote. You can communicate with them, and so here he's saying, "This is my experience. No blame, no reason, no argument, just understanding." That part might be a little bit further than we're willing to go. Little blame, little reasoning, little argument, just communication. If you understand it, would we be all right with that?
Understanding.
I mean, this is a lesson on being a creative force. So you plant it. We plant the lettuce. So it's about us, not the lettuce. The lettuce is,
What are we trying to grow?
well, it's about our own agency, our own moral agency. We are the alpha and the omega, so to speak.
We have agency over ourselves, right? And we keep coming back to that topic. I'm feeling. Why did I bring this up? Oh, because of last week and the thing about the how do you keep yourself calm. And so what I'm trying to do in this little moment, let me just pull it straight, pull the curtain straight away, is pull the curtain back, is what I'm trying to show is that when the exercise didn't go the way I planned it to go, and it has taken me some training of myself to do it, is to realize that it might not be, well, the group was totally dumbasses today, and they weren't paying attention to what I asked, and so they gave their own answer.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to model is what Thich Nhat Hanh quote was about, was that it's possibly not the other people. It's possibly
Right.
that I didn't give a good enough instruction.
Right. It's
Okay.
taking responsibility.
Right. It's taking responsibility, not blaming. So all the people who said they are afraid, they suspect that they might be lettuce blamers, then maybe we'll take this with us. All right. So the topic that this all went under was something that came about from last week's discussion that I learned more about. So that was one thing. So let me ask you, is there something that we talked about last week or the week before that you want to zoom in on, that you had some further learning and thinking about? And first person to answer gets a sticker.
Um, hmm.
If there's not something, we have next week, so just keep on thinking about what we're talking about. I'm just going to give another moment to see what else comes up.
I mean, I don't know if everybody was here from last week. I wasn't, so.
That's all right. If there's something, one of the tools that we talk about, so I did have a request from someone which said that they said, well, you keep talking about this TMOCIITRE ROI, but I don't know what you're talking about. So I'd like to explain this thing that we have a shorthand for here, which is TMOCIITRE ROI, which is one of the worst acronyms ever invented. It means that the meaning of communication is in the response elicited, regardless of intention. So
That's not fair.
TMOCIITRE, maybe it's TMOCIITRE, Roy. Any which way. Let me go over what it says again. The meaning of communication is in the response elicited, regardless of intention. The meaning of what I say has very little to do, not very little. The meaning of what I say is in how you hear it, regardless of how I intended it. And this is a real mature thing to understand. Go ahead, Meg.
I have argued against this particular thing for years, but I now am on board with tomography, Roy. And one of the things that clarified it for me was scientists need to get money from people that don't necessarily understand the science. So the scientist has to learn to describe what they're doing in the other person's language.
Mm.
And to me, this is exactly what we're talking about. If I want you to understand something, I have to put it in language
Right.
that you
Yeah.
will understand.
Right. And that somewhat goes
Excellent.
even back to the thing with the lettuce is it's not that
Yeah.
you didn't understand what I said, it's that I didn't say it in the language you can understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really obvious
Right.
once you understand it. It's not so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I in my piano teaching, I find that to be very true, that it's important for me to tell my student that if you don't understand it, it's not your fault. It's that I need to find a better way to communicate it.
Beautiful, Betsy. And it's also quite a thing for somebody, the perceived authority. Thank you, whoever did the muting. It's quite a powerful thing for the assumed authority to take on the responsibility for how things are going. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's TMOCIITRE, Roy. I had another one that people asked me to elaborate on, but I want to see if we have any other comments on TMOCIITRE, Roy. Oh, wait, quick question. Can you tell me what these letters stand for?
Yes,
The meaning?
Meaning?
of communication.
Gesundheit. You missed the G, yeah.
The meaning of communication is in the response.
The response elicited.
In the response elicited, regardless of intention. If you were offended by how rude I am for sneezing during the service, the meaning of my sneeze was on how you understood it, not on my intent. Dan, you have your hand raised. And then Andy.
Well, see, I sort of agree and disagree with this statement because, yes, that's the meaning that was perceived by the person that had the response elicited in them, in that sense. But it perhaps wasn't the meaning you intended and perhaps could be clarified to...
Yes, the meaning. So I could say the final meaning is co-created.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you for adding. Go ahead, Andy.
I was going to say something very similar, which is, don't we need another acronym that kind of balances this one along the same lines as Dan just said, that we each have some responsibility to check out what the intent was, particularly if we found it unpleasant.
Absolutely. And it is not an easy thing to do, but I highly recommend saying to someone, what I just heard you say is blank.
Right.
And you might even say, and that made me feel blank. Was that your intent? Mom, when you said that, I heard you tell me that I'm not a good child. Is that your intent? Is to just check it out in real time. Diana.
Well, I was just thinking that there's a piece about control here, which is we don't control the meaning the other person makes.
Correct.
It's about just accepting we have to let it go and then have the responsibility for checking, as we just said.
Thank you. Uh-oh. That's more Dianas than we needed.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, no. Can never have enough.
True.
The other one that we've been bantying around is the spiritual barometer. We've talked about it as though everyone understands what we're talking about when we talk about our spiritual barometer. But as I invented that phrase, it's not everywhere. Not everyone knows what that means. Is there someone who has a ding ding ding? Someone have an example of their spiritual barometer that they might be able to share? Maybe I should just do it. I really would love to hear from some of you.
Jack does.
Go, Jack, go.
Yeah, in my life, I work at removing blame, evaluation, judgment, and justification out of my system.
Good for you.
I mean, that's what I work at. Don't always succeed, but to me, that's my spiritual barometer.
Okay, your spiritual barometer is how well are you avoiding blame? How well are you avoiding shame? I don't think I remember all the words you said.
No, blame, evaluation,
Judgment. Yeah.
judgment, and justification of that judgment.
Shirley also had her hand up.
Okay, thank you. How well are you? Oh, right. So when I catch myself, I think that's a great one. When I realize that I'm doing a lot of blaming, I know that my spiritual barometer is low. When I see that I'm keeping other people from feeling blamed or shame, I know that my spiritual barometer is in an all right place. Quick point before I go to my friend Shirley. It is a barometer, not a... What's the one on the wall that you can change the temperature with? Thermostat. It's a barometer, not a thermostat. A thermostat, you can go over to the wall and you can go, I want more blame, you can change a thermostat. A barometer, unless you're in charge of the atmospheric pressure, there's very little you can do about a barometer's reading. I guess you could breathe on it. Okay, now I'm way into the weeds. Let's hear from Shirley.
I've noticed personally that when I'm operating and I see light in all the people around me and I see love coming from them and I can see where they are, that I am spiritually connected. When I'm in my ego, I'm not seeing light in anybody. I'm just seeing that's how I can gauge. And then finally I'll go, oh my goodness, I'm obviously stuck in my ego and the poor me's. So my solution is to meditate, to pray, to ask for.
But you're absolutely right. You have to first notice it. It's much harder to change something unless you notice it, and that's what we're looking at our spiritual barometers for. My classic example, then I'll hit Ron, is when my phone rings, and it's Bob, my brother-in-law. If I look at the phone and I go, "What the fuck does he want?" I've trained myself to listen to my internal voice, which is either, oh my God, it's Bob, I can't wait to talk to him, or I know my mood based on Bob. Go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say that Shirley really spoke my mind there. So I don't need further comment beyond that. Okay. But when I am around other people and I see how they're responding to me, are they responding in frustration? What are their responses? And that's the barometer for me.
To know your mood.
How am I treating other people?
Right.
How am I reading other people? How am I responding to
them? And again, it's noticing it first. It's not necessarily even hold on, I'm gonna rub on my chin, which is gonna cause me to remember it. It's not. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna tell you, I just heard from my friend Jenny a great analogy for why we can't remember all the things we wish to remember as we get older. And Jenny said, it's like a library, and when you're young, the librarian is energetic, and it's a small library. It's the kids section. But as we get older, we have larger and larger libraries, and the librarian is aged.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Emily.
My spiritual barometer, it just dawned on me what you're talking about, a barometer. But when I get down and depressed and just gray and just don't want to be around anybody, that's my barometer.
Yeah.
And I know then that I need to hear some stories from people.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And my librarian has come back with that thought since I went on the tangent. And I must be in a good place because I'm remembering that I went on a tangent into where I went. It was Werner Erhard who said, and please fact check me on this one, but I believe it was Werner Erhard who said, awareness is in and of itself curative. Awareness is in and of itself curative. Once we realize we're in a bad mood, things have already started to change. Which brings me to an announcement that I have to make. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be in a shit mood. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay not to be okay. Okay.
Well, it's normal.
Right.
Diana has her hand up.
Go, Diana.
Can we talk about that quote about awareness a little further?
The Werner Erhard quote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did anyone have a chance to fact check me on that on your fantastic computers? No? Okay. We're just going to keep going. Go ahead. Awareness is in and of itself curative. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it is necessary but wildly insufficient.
I think you are absolutely right.
Okay. And I'll just leave it at that.
Wait, but I want you to say it again so I can hold it into my head. It is
awareness is necessary but wildly insufficient.
Wildly. I love the use of the word wildly, but wildly insufficient.
Because speaking for myself, I mean, yay, awareness, but a lot of times I can't or don't act on it in a way that really capitalizes on it. You know, sometimes I'm just stuck.
Awareness is
sometimes
like that.
My spiritual barometer is, washed out. And so I know, but...
It opens the door, but it doesn't go through.
I can live with that.
Okay. Wildly insufficient. It's having a doorknob, but not attached to a door.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's speed.
I changed it a little bit. I changed your but there to and.
And wildly insufficient.
That's great, Emily. I like it.
Oh, wait. That was so good that I want to write that down.
Greg has his hand up.
Go ahead, Greg.
I'd like to share this with you. When I went through my recovery program in the hospital on mental illness, it was a big help learning all the ins and outs. But it wasn't until I did a self-study and became aware of who I really was, what I'm all about, is when things really started fitting together. So that statement of Amelia Earhart is very, very true.
I'm a little lost on Amelia Earhart. You're talking Werner Erhard. Okay, sorry. Gotcha. Okay, so let's work on this quote. Dan is on my screen for awareness is, Diana, help me fill that in. I only got the beginning and end of it.
Necessary.
Not sufficient.
but wildly insufficient. Awareness of what we want to change.
Or what we've done. I'm thinking of yesterday. I was not in the best mood, and I was leaving Walmart, and the guy says to me, "Have a good day." And I said, I don't remember what I said, but it was not a nice reply. It didn't contain any of those 4-letter words. And I took 3 steps, and I thought, I don't have to be rude to this man. He is not in charge of the store. So I did a Diana thing and went back and apologized. And I'm not sure he understood why I was apologizing, but I felt better.
Meg, I'm going to ask the whole group, can you somehow in your little box demonstrate to Meg if you think what she did was wonderful? I'm going to give her like hands up like that.
Thank you.
I love that. I also love that you called it the Diana, because Diana, that's when I think most of us fell in love with you, is when you told us about you getting coffee and yelling at the barista and then going back in to apologize to the barista. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, I was just.
Oh, raising your hand and the electronic hand raised.
I was raising my hand.
That is bound to happen. That Meg, that's just wonderful. I love that idea. That it's that we make mistakes, but we can also fix them.
But the original quote you started with, I had to be aware of the fact that I had just, shut this guy down or whatever.
And then forgive ourselves.
Awareness of what we want to change is necessary and wildly insufficient.
Yeah.
Well, why the emphasis on wildly? I don't quite get that.
I think it was to soften how strongly worded the original one was. We can. I'll parentheticalize it. I do want to get to a different topic today. You guys don't mind. It's this, on gratitude. There's no neutrality between gratitude and ingratitude. Those who are not grateful soon begin complaining of everything. Those who do not love, hate. In the spiritual life, there is no such thing as an indifference to love or hate. That is why tepidity, which seems to be indifferent, is so detestable. It is hate disguised as love. Okay, I gotta admit, the last 2 sentences kind of get me a little bit confused. So I'm willing to just cut the quote to end there, unless somebody really, really understands that last part and wants to dive in. Let's just take the first part. There's no neutrality between gratitude and ingratitude. Those who are not grateful soon begin to complain of everything. Is that true?
Could be.
There is no neutrality between gratitude and ingratitude. Those who are not grateful soon become to hate. And then I had a second quote that says the same thing in different words, and I'm trying to find it. There it is. We started with this. Hey, those of you who don't know, a lot of us come on about a half hour early, and I work on my camera angles, and we play with some of these quotes. But here's one from Hannah Whitall Smith, who said, the soul that gives thanks can find comfort in everything. The soul that complains can find comfort in nothing.
Hello? How you doing?
Maybe comfort in complaining. Finding comfort in complaining.
You can find comfort in complaining. That starts to get me confused.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Thank you.
Kind of meta.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like getting something off your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is hyperbolic for sure. This, like, there are times to complain. Here, I got a new way of looking at it. We had looked at in our personal relationships that we should try to do this. And for those of you who remember what that is, fantastic. It is 4 positive or neutral comments for every 1 critique. And I got a new way of understanding it is that you have 2 boxes, and you have to put a penny in this box every time you make a positive or neutral comment, and every time there's a critique, you have to take 5 cents out.
Good idea.
Go ahead, Meg.
No, I just think that's clever.
It's the Hey, wait. Good job, Meg. You did 1 positive or neutral comment. If you get 3 more in, you've earned yourself a critique.
Oh, I can't wait.
I lost where I was. Oh, gratitude. Something else about gratitude. We all have a gratitude practice, whether or not you call it your gratitude practice. It looks like this. I haven't done this in a very long time. Gratitude is equal to moments of conscious thankfulness minus verbalized complaints. And I'm very...
Does it have to be verbalized?
Well, I'm going to put them in.
Verbalized can just be your thought.
Okay. Conscious thankfulness. Gratitude is equal to conscious thankfulness minus verbalized complaints. And the reason I added in verbalized complaints is because I don't think it's as bad. Like, we think complaints. I don't want us to feel like you have to give a penny every time. You have to give 5 cents every time you think a complaint. It's only when you say the complaint, I think, that it takes the 5 cent form. I'm trying to be compassionate to all of us that we don't have to do this. It's too hard for me to monitor my mind to not complain, because sometimes I sit on something and, boy, that's uncomfortable, but I don't have to say it out loud. As long as I don't say it out loud, I am not docking myself a complaint point. Any comments on this? Gratitude equals thankfulness minus complaints? Gratitude equals conscious thankfulness minus verbalized complaints. Okay, if you don't have a question, I have an exercise for us to do. Go ahead, Anne.
There are times or instances or circumstances in which allowing ourselves to feel discomfort is the portal to growing.
Yeah, to experience discomfort is not the same as verbalizing a complaint.
Correct.
Okay, I'm with you. Sometimes it is feeling uncomfortable that causes us to get up and do something about it. Absolutely. We should.
Or just to expand our awareness.
Amen. We have an exercise to do. You're all on a phone or a tablet or some kind of electronic device. We're going to do this thing. We haven't done it for a long while. Open up a messaging program or an email program. Look for somebody who you haven't contacted for a while. I'm going to hit this one. And just send a moment of gratitude. So take a moment. Think about that person. And think about if you just got a text or an email from someone who said, "Hey, I'm just thinking about you," how that would make you feel. And so take a moment to do that. And if you want to say out loud the message you wrote or put it in the chat, that would be wonderful. I wrote to somebody, I just wanted to send you an extra portion of love today. What'd you write, if you don't mind sharing?
I use Meg's toy. Thinking of you.
TOY, thinking of you.
TOI.
Thank you, Maria.
Anyone else willing to share?
I got a lovely message from somebody.
Oh, that's nice. Go ahead, Shirley.
I just said I'm thinking about you and sending love.
Beautiful.
Gracias.
You tell us, was it to a random person who would not expect to be getting that message from you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
think
thing.
so. Yeah. She was a neighbor. She used to be a neighbor.
Nice. I'm going to assume, and argue with me if you must, that most of us got a little jolt of a lightened mood, feeling a little bit wonderful, feeling grace for sending this message out. I'll give you a little secret. You don't have to wait for me to initiate telling you to do this. I'm just saying.
But thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome. Ron, you had something to add? You are still on mute though, bud.
I muted myself because I was coughing. Turns out I have a new medication that gives me cotton mouth and causes me to cough. Any rate, I just sent a message to a friend I haven't communicated with in quite a while, and she said, "Just letting you know how grateful I am to be your water brother." Yeah, me too. So glad we claimed one another. Stay safe today.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Ron. Maria? Do you have a
Yes,
list of
I have.
names of people who we would like to add some prayers today?
I do. These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Joe Ludwig, Lauren Lee, Leo Applebaum, Alex, John, and Rebecca, Irma P. and her family, Sally and Bob B., Ralph in loving memory, Sheridan H., Arulane Hill, Ebony and Beth Carney, Rita S., Ron, Rita W., Shirley W., Linda, Phil, and Cleo, Reed and Gwen, Saul R., Randy and Rachel, and Cullen and family. If there is another individual in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat, and I will add them to the list on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for always doing that for us. We'll take a minute. Thank you all. Next week, we're going to be doing this thing again. And I'm going to ask you to keep the things that we talked about confidential, but to practice them and to notice yourself trying some of these things so that next week in 168 hours, when I say, is there something that you learned about or reflected about from last week, you'll say, yes, that was me. I have a thought. And if you don't, you're still a wonderful, lovely person as well. We're going to end today a little bit early. I have to ship on out, and let's wave goodbye to everyone who's here on the screen, and goodbye to the people on Facebook land and YouTube. Thank you for tuning in.